They're already trying to put me on performance improvement plans already. I prayed istikhara. I didn't feel any anxiety when I handed in the resignation, bro. Like, I didn't feel any, if anything, I felt peace, I felt calm. I think there was that month, bro, where we hit like the 10K USD. And there was that day, it was just back-to-back piffs. That type of money, I would have to work maybe even 2 months in my 9 to 5, 3 months in my 9 to 5 to make. Like, those guys were getting results. We have multiple testimonials from them, multiple client interviews. So results are there, and that justifies the price.
It's a thing, once you see it's there, like all your limiting beliefs go away. I remember you called me up right after, right? What do you told me you're going to umrah, bro. Like our first meeting after that and everything. You're like, bro, I just booked myself a solo umrah. Like,
yeah, man. So I think, that's when we made the 10K USD month. We've got the cash flow, we've got the money there just sitting there. I might as well just book an umrah, So I booked a solo trip purely paid by the skill set of high ticket sales, bro. And I wouldn't have been able to have done that within the 9 to 5.
But it's like, what actual systems within that, kind of changed it up for you, that we went in, that we implemented, and you just were like, yeah, this is kind of like the thing that we need to start implementing more.
Yeah, man. I think understanding.
For those who don't know who Big Isa is, who is Isa?
Who Big Isa is? Big Isa is first and foremost, a Muslim revert to Islam. Someone that's been creating content for the last 5 years in hopes of helping men, Muslim men specifically, but men in general as well, build discipline in their fitness, their faith, and just become their best self for the sake of Allah, but of course, for the sake of the families as well, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. And I mean, what was your business transformation exactly? When you first started, and then your best month and everything.
Yeah, the coaching. So, fitness coaching has always been something in the back of my mind forever. It's like literally, I think like for the last 2-3 years, but I just never got to doing it. And then it was at the beginning of this year actually, where I partnered up initially with one of these companies that just kind of help you build your platform. A lot of guys in the UK, they tend to go with these companies, with these platforms. But we started it off. I got a feeling of how it is to kind of like launch like a fitness type offer. But it didn't really go anywhere. And then I remember I was literally on a plane. I was about to board a plane to Germany, and then that's when you and I spoke initially with regards to partnering up. So then I got back from Germany, and that's when we spoke properly. And that's when Islam Blueprint, so my coaching offer now, launched, when we kind of really dialed in on the offer and what I'm trying to do, building the infrastructure, building the fulfillment side of things, learning about, sales and all these things there, because I didn't know about like sales. I didn't know about taking calls and DM setting and all of that stuff, all that good stuff. So that only kind of really happened when we really partnered up, alhamdulillah. And then, yeah, man, it was good. It was good. I think our best month was 10K USD, I believe. 10K or even over that, I'm not too sure. But yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, and I mean, revenue-wise, how are you doing before that with all your other ventures? Because I know you mentioned a few other things.
Yeah. I've done a few things, man, but I was really just trying to make it, bro, honestly. The first ever thing I did on social media, no one knows this, but I actually started a clothing brand years
No way,
ago.
I don't even know that. You had a clothing brand?
I had a clothing brand. So that was like the first ever venture. That didn't really go anywhere. I mean, we saw like the first drop, but the margins weren't all that, and there was issues with supplies, and it wasn't really something I was trying to do long term. And then I had a coaching app. The issue with the coaching app is that it was super low ticket. It was like $10. So I mean, we were making a bit of money from that, like per month, like $500. On the side of that, we had like brand deals and stuff like that was coming in. Again, it's just, a couple hundred here and there. I think the most I made was like probably like 1,000. To be honest, no, I've made like good amounts from brand deals, like £3,000 and £2,000, so on and so forth. But brand deals are not Yeah, they're not something that come in every now and again. Yeah, I mean, so they're not something that come in consistently. They just come every now and again. So yeah, yeah. I mean, I think out of all of the things that I've done, fitness coaching, high ticket sales is the most consistent and is putting the most revenue month by month.
Yeah. I mean, with the whole thing about high ticket, like you've done all these other things. What were like the biggest issues doing those other ventures? Because I know you mentioned like low ticket. You tried,
Mm.
obviously the clothing brand. There's like the whole issue of margins. It works out obviously if you really go all in. But like, what's really the issues that you faced with trying to get that stuff rolling? Like the low ticket and everything.
Yeah, I forgot to mention how the school community as well, Muslim influence. I think that's like probably the second most successful thing that I had, but it was low ticket. The issue with that is low ticket serves its purpose, but
Mm.
it's incomplete by itself. I find there's churn, a lot of churn. The type of people that you kind of serve as well within low ticket are not as locked in and dialed in as the people within high ticket that you serve. Therefore, they're not as they probably won't get the best results, which has a effect on the type of business that you're getting. It's a lot, man. But overall, high ticket is definitely it opened my eyes, man. It opened my eyes because I was definitely more on the low ticket only type of thing. But nah, man, yeah, high ticket is the way to go.
Yeah. I mean, with high ticket, obviously you said churn. There's like the whole idea of just people not just being locked in, and like that brings issues with fulfillment, right? I mean, the whole info space is literally just
Mm,
about fulfillment at one point. But like,
yeah.
fulfillment, bro, it's like the most important thing because like at the end of the day, like why are you even doing coaching? Why are you even helping other people? It's like so you can get them that transformation.
Yeah.
So low ticket, it just gets people in the door, but it's like, bro, that's the guy who's, who could probably pay you like $2,000 $3,000. Instead, he's paying like 20
Mm.
$30 a month, and you're just delaying the buying process right there. And so like, why is it that you feel like all these problems like churn, all these things, bro? Like, why do you feel like you can solve that problem on your own?
Um, I feel as though again when I kind of had the low ticket at the beginning, it was very much the beginning of my journey as an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
So I wasn't yet used to, I wasn't exposed to all of these other things like sales calls and all of these techniques and these basically skill sets because sales is a skill set, right? So closing on sales calls, you speaking to leads, fulfillment, all of that is a skill set that I only kind of was able to nurture and acquire after we had partnered up. Before that, I was kind of getting into it. Like I was kind of seeing glimpses of it, you know. But yeah, I wasn't fully in there until we kind of started with our partnership.
yeah, yeah. Like the biggest thing is obviously the whole idea of closing, but it's really just being able to build that connection so that you can actually make it in the high ticket sales space. Because
Mm,
why do people even come to you in the first place? It's like, bro, you're there to help them out, and through that you have to give like the right assets and everything. You have to set up the right structure, the right systems. Now it's like I don't know if you've ever even tried like doing sales calls before, our thing. Like I know you've done a bit, right? I mean, in terms of like
yeah,
getting to the high ticket sales space, you're just kind of like from like the low ticket. I think your low ticket started good, right? I think it actually
yeah,
did
yeah, yeah.
decent.
It started good, man. The launch of it was good, but it was just the churn. I think that the thing is
Yeah,
about low ticket is that you have to kind of expect high churn percentages, high churn rates. So that's one thing, and then again, now you're trying to make these guys ascend as well
yeah,
into the high ticket. So then you gotta have the skill set for that, and that's something that I didn't quite. I tried it. I definitely tried it. At, a couple YouTube videos, couple other mentorships I was already in that kind of touched on sales a little bit, but not as in depth for me to actually fully grasp the skill and get as much practice as I would have needed to kind of actually be able to do it properly the way I'm doing it now. So
yeah.
yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. It's that starting phase where you just don't know like how to get started. But sometimes you just have to literally just post that. Really, you just have to post that story, get the inbound,
Mm,
get the lead, and then just go through that phase of actually understanding how a prospect's buyer or like a buyer's journey actually is. You know, you
exactly,
learn so much
exactly.
with that. You just learn so much about like psychology and all that stuff. Like with that, like when it came to you actually partnering up with me and everything, I know we kind of knew each other off of like social media for like a good while. You're using like my audios and everything. I remember that phase, bro. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I was like 14, 15, like posting like stuff on TikTok, and I think you were on TikTok as well. You're making a lot of
Yeah.
like, you're going pretty viral there and everything. But eventually we did partner up, and so what was like the kind of like tipping point that made you join?
You know, it was a thing where one, I realized that the next venture I had to start was the fitness coaching because I had tried everything else before that. So I knew that like it's the only thing that's gonna work with my brand. But I didn't yet understand the again like the actual skill set of sales, right? And that didn't fully come about until after we had joined. And of course, you had used the skill set on me, bro. You qualified me. You sent me some before our call. You sent me some assets, to kind of nurture me a bit more. And then we jumped on the call and da 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 da. Da. You know how it goes, bro.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I was closed pretty easily, bro. Because again, you targeted my pain points. You knew what the pain points were. So yeah, man, and alhamdulillah, bro. Again, I'm super grateful because I was able to actually leave my 9 to 5. Literally, I think was it a month or 2 months after starting? Or I think I already had left. I'm not too sure. I can't really remember, bro.
yeah. I
Since
remember
we
you
had
told
left.
me you texted me and it's like, bro, I'm just gonna go all out on this, and it's like it's just like it just left my 9 to 5 and everything. I remember
Yeah.
I remember when you texted me that and everything. Like, how did that feel?
Wow, bro, it was crazy, man. This has been one of the goals for a very long time to leave the 9 to 5, or simply because I know that there's more out there, man. Like, I'm not trying to diss the 9 to 5. I'm not trying to diss people that want to work in 9 to 5s because you need to work a 9 to 5, bro. You kind of need to be in the system to understand how it is, and you need to kind of build that stability as well within a 9 to 5. I worked a 9 to 5 for 10 years, bro. I was a finance bro for 10 years, whilst doing content at the same time. But my last 9 to 5 was trying to do this content thing and then trying to be an entrepreneur. Not even just trying to be a content creator and do the 9 to 5 at the same time is one thing, bro. But trying to be a content creator who has an offer and he's trying to be an entrepreneur whilst doing the 9 to 5 is like a whole different ball game because it's like you're actually doing two 9 to 5s. And well and truly, the content creation thing is like it's like sorry, the content creation thing with the entrepreneurship is like a 9 to 5 by itself, or 24/7, should I say, bro? Like I work literally sometimes all day, all week, but I like that. I prefer that. It's something that's very purposeful. So yeah, when I handed in the resignation, bro, it was a no-brainer, man. I mean, they're already trying to put me in performance improvement plans already, bro, because I was so locked in on like content and entrepreneurship. I'm there editing content in the middle of work and they're seeing that my performance is dropping. And that's when I realized, you know what, man, like at this point, it just makes sense, man. I prayed istikhara, I got the sign, and the sign was that I didn't feel any anxiety when I handed in the resignation, bro. Like, I didn't feel any, if anything, I felt peace, I felt calm. So that's why I was like, yeah, man, like, I handed it in, man, I felt good, bro. So, yeah, man, I mean, what, months later, I'm still here, month by month, still, alhamdulillah, surviving. Allah provides, and yeah, man, it was good. It was good. It
Alhamdulillah,
was a
alhamdulillah,
good risk.
alhamdulillah. And so like I want to kind of go like, bro, because that's a crazy story. You know what I mean? Like the istikhara and everything. Like you just having that trust. You're like, yeah, I'm just gonna go all in. You had the platform. You had literally everything in place. It's just a matter of implementing the right systems and everything. For you
Yeah.
to just build something that's actually set in stone. Because there's a lot of people who are just like, you know what, like I'm gonna try and like figure things out, and like they kind of just like do half right, and then they just never see the
Mm,
full potential. Like here you are
mhm.
now. I mean, you've had multiple client interviews. You literally just filmed one today right before this. So
Yeah,
That,
yeah, yeah.
with that, like I want to move on to kind of like the results and when we did implement those systems, because I know you obviously had like a little phase where it's like you were going to Umrah, you were kind of like, traveling here and there and just trying to sell it in really into the offering. When we really kind of settled in, what were those results like? Because I know you first tried like closing for the first time in terms of trying to pitch like those high ticket prices. Like, how was that exactly in terms of like the transformation that you did there?
Yeah, man. So I remember like my first few sales calls was very tough, bro, because it's definitely a psychology game. It was hard at the beginning, bro, because it's like it's a skill set at the end of the day, something that you have to kind of put in the reps into really get it locked in. So at the beginning it was kind of hard, but when I got my first PIF, I was like, wow, and that was with like my first client. So no, my first PIF was with I think like one of my third or fourth clients where he paid like I think like 1,000 in full or 1.5 in full, something like that.
Yeah.
Before that, we were getting like people on like on plans, payment plans. So they'll
Hmm.
pay like maybe 750 by two or 500 by three.
Yeah.
But alhamdulillah, more than anything, it was just the fulfillment. Like those guys were getting results. We have multiple testimonials from them, multiple client interviews, so on and so forth, right? So the results are there, and that justifies the
Yeah.
price because we've literally changed their life, and they wouldn't be able to do that without our help, essentially, right?
Yeah.
But I think it was like maybe 4 or 5 months down in, bro, like where we started getting like proper piffs, like 1.8Ks. And that's when I was like,
Yeah.
okay, like this really works. Like this is crazy, you know? Like I think there was that month, bro, where we hit like the 10K USD, and there was that day it was just back to back piffs. Like we got one guy that paid 1.8, another guy paid 1.8, and then this guy paid one, and then this guy payment plan 500. Like, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's like that type of money I would have to work maybe even 2 months in my 9 to 5, 3 months in my 9 to 5 to make. So yeah, man. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's a crazy. It's been a crazy journey. It's been a crazy journey for sure.
Yeah, man. And that's like, bro, with what you're doing before the low tick, I think like it just churned down. You literally were making the same as like one piff, right? Like with
Yeah,
the school community.
literally, yeah,
Yeah, bro.
yeah.
So that really goes to show, but like, obviously like the piffs came. You're like, wow, this is like, this is that. Like, you just gotta do more of it. It's a thing.
Mm,
Once you see it's there, like all your limiting beliefs go away. That's one of the things, bro.
yeah,
Like for this stuff to really settle in your mind, once it happens, all your limiting beliefs just go down the drain. At first you're like, oh, is it possible like this guy's doing X amount per month? He's doing like 20K a month. He's doing 30K a month. Is it really
mm,
possible? And then once you get that feeling yourself, because you get like 1.8, that's like 2.4, 2.5 USD, 2.5K. And so you just stacking on those guys and everything. Like, I remember you called me up right after, right? What do you told me you're going to Umrah, bro. Like our first meeting after that and everything. You're like, bro, I just booked myself a solo Umrah. Like,
Oh
take us
yeah,
back to
yeah,
that
yeah,
moment, bro.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. So I think yeah, that's when we made the 10K USD month. Maybe even like 11K. Can't really remember, but it was a 5 figure month, bro. And I was like, yo, like I've got the money to kind of just book an Umrah trip because at the time, I really wanted to do Umrah. When you do Umrah, bro, you miss Medina, you miss Mecca, So I was like, it's cheap right now as well. It's not that expensive. We've got the cash flow, we've got the money there, just sitting there. I might as well just book an Umrah. So I booked a solo trip, purely paid by the skill set of high ticket sales, bro. And I wouldn't have been able to have done that within the 9 to 5. I'd have to get a manager to approve my thing, and then I probably would have to save like 3, 4 paychecks to do that. So it's magical, bro. It's beautiful. It's beautiful for
Yeah,
real.
subhanAllah,
But for
man.
sure, it definitely does get rid of those limiting beliefs as well because it kind of changes your perception of money as well, man. That money's there in abundance. You just need to just put in the work to just get it right. Like, I just tell myself that I just need this certain amount, and this certain amount basically comes from this certain amount of calls or, DMs and da 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 da. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a thing where money is kind of how do I put this, man? A lot of people are too you don't have a scarcity mindset no more, bro. You know that money is kind of there for the taking so long as you're putting the work. That's what I'm kind of trying to say. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Bro hit a record month one time. That's good, bro. That's good.
Mm.
Inshallah, you're up that again. Because I'm gonna do that too, inshallah, down the line.
So,
Probably get some sick content and everything. Like, I mean, what did you find kind of more, I mean, in terms of your perception of business, like how is it now compared to before? Like in terms of like just everything, how you view it? Because obviously you just kind of said like the skill set, the game's changed once you understand a high ticket. But it's
mm.
like what actual systems within that, kind of changed it up for you, that we went in, that we implemented, and you just were like, yeah, this is kind of like the thing that we need to start implementing more.
Yeah, man. I think understanding, because the thing is, like you mentioned, bro, we were both on TikTok. You were the plug for the audios, every
Yeah,
audio that.
we were both making viral videos at the time. Our aim was just get as
Yeah.
many views. Bro, I was a naive 14, 15-year-old. I don't think you were there back in like 2020. Maybe like
Mm.
2021 or 2022, you started to pick up like whatever I was posting. But like, bro, I was 15. I was like, yo, let me just get views because that was like, bro, everything was crazy for me. I'd see my friends and everything. They would have more followers and they would have these crazy camera setups. And all I wanted was a camera. I remember I got like
Mm.
my first $400, $500 camera. It was like a Lumix G7. And then I
Yeah.
saw everyone had Sony full frames. And then I was like, no, I have a Micro Four Thirds. It's like a tiny sensor. I don't have that much background, but bro, it was crazy, man. But yeah, bro, like you were saying, man, how is
Yeah,
that?
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Because back then we were just trying to be content creators, right? So we were only kind of optimizing for views, not understanding that within content creation itself, there's a whole different side to it where you can, have one piece of content optimized for views and then another one optimized for nurturing, then another one optimizes for sales and pulls people down the funnel, and then even just understanding funnels by itself, top of funnel, middle funnel, all of those things there, man. So I think that's the one thing that I kind of, and it's kind of hard for me to transition from that, bro. You remember that period, right? Where it was just
Right,
hard for me
I was
to
on you, bro. I
transition.
was like, bro, listen, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You posted like 6 times. Um, you post like 6 times in a month, and you're like, bro, what's going on? I was like, dog, where are your inputs? That's the biggest thing. That it was that month. I
Yeah.
was like, bro, I just sat with you on a call. I just told you, bro, like genuinely, this is not enough volume. This is not enough inputs for you to actually get
Mm.
to whatever like even see a 5 figure month. You have guys who are doing way more like 30 to 50K months, and they're posting like 2, 3 reels a day, and
Mm.
like there's like 6 reels in a month, and I was like, yeah, it's not gonna work, and it was that transition
Yeah.
period that you're telling me about.
Yeah, 100%, bro. It's because when you're a content creator and you're used to seeing like 1 million views per video, it's like you only got to post the 6 times in the month to kind of like get your dopamine for the month, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when you're trying to be an entrepreneur now, it's not about that, bro. It's about kind of creating content that really dives into the pain points of your ICP. So, and that requires a bit more volume because you're speaking to a very small amount of people, and they got to be hit with a lot of content, not just the one reel. So I think it's just making that transition, making that transition in the mindset, and then just understanding the content for different purposes. The DM setting as well, having a sales team, so people that are kind of like they're like optimized to kind of speak to leads for you, which is another thing because I wasn't too fond of somebody at the beginning, anyways, of somebody speaking on my behalf, but it was the most beneficial part of the entire infrastructure that we built, bro. Having somebody there, in my DMs,
Yeah.
gathering leads,
Yeah, it's just the
Um,
point of leverage,
yeah, exactly,
you just
exactly.
focus on literally you have to kind of rid, once you like past like if you're around that 5 figures mark, you have to take care of like you have to get rid of those things like the low leverage tasks, the DM setting, the editing, and all that stuff. And so that transition period is gonna be super huge for you. Like even us right now, I'm super excited like watching you grow and everything and understanding the systems and implementing them and just really making sure that you're making the right choice moving forward. And it's not
Mm,
it's the thing, it's not the thing that people like to talk about. At the end of the day, like I don't know if it was for you like with the mentors that you were before because I know you joined a few other groups and everything, but like
yeah.
no one gets into kind of like the reality of this stuff where it's like you kind of need to focus on these certain inputs that are not very flashy, it's not very nice sounding, but you got to do it, right? And that's the thing that you had to do to get started. And that's the biggest thing that we kind of overtook at the beginning during that month, where it's like, yeah, we have to focus on inputs, you know. But like, if you didn't go through that kind of phase, like, where do you think, you know, if you hadn't joined like back in a few months ago when you did, like, where do you think you'd be now?
Bro, scary thought, man. I don't know, bro. Honestly, I don't know what I would have been doing right now, man. There's another like venture, another little skill set that I'm kind of involved in now that I'm doing right now. Like it's like my offline thing.
Yeah.
Possibly that, but even that is a bit more long term. Like it's not something that you can get 10K in, I mean, a few months, bro. It's maybe like a 2, 3 year thing. But other than that, it's like I don't know, man. Possibly, definitely still in the 9 to 5. And that my last 9 to 5, bro. I absolutely hated it as well, man. It was crazy what was going on there. Would have been in 9 to 5 for sure. I think I don't know, man. I don't even want to think about that, bro. Honestly, like it's crazy because I don't know what I would have been doing, bro. But God of Allah at the end of the day, bro. Alhamdulillah.
SubhanAllah, man. SubhanAllah. And I mean, you've been through it. You've kind of been through all this now. You've seen every phase of the journey, and now that you've been through it, like, where do you see yourself like within a year from now? Like, I know you're telling me just a few things about a few visions that you had for the upcoming year and everything.
Yeah,
Where do you
yeah.
where do you see yourself in that point?
Yeah, bro. Honestly, I feel as though just with all the knowledge that I've acquired within the last few months and the knowledge that I'm still acquiring to this day, I see 2026 as definitely being like that breakthrough year, man. Locked in on, just one offer, which is my fitness offer. I think I did have a little bit of shiny object syndrome. Just got bouncing from offer to offer, bouncing from business model to business model. But now I know that the high ticket sales and leveraging my social media presence is what I'm locked in on. Like I've kind of found like my bread and butter. So yeah, we're just gonna look into that for 2026.
Yeah, 100%. And like, what would you kind of say to someone like who's stuck in that same spot with? Because I know you kind of had that shiny object syndrome, like you're saying, you're trying a few things out, but like, bro, you just filmed like your what, fourth, fifth client interview today. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
it's set in stone, bro. You're changing lives. You're actually making a result. It's not just like, some other, throwing a course, throwing video modules at someone and calling it a day. Like, you're actually changing their lives within their health. And that kind of changes them to change within all aspects of their life, within their faith, within their finances, within how they are with their family and everything. Like, the actual impact that you're making, like, you're starting to realize that. And it's just because we kind of, you know shattered through those little moments of like, oh, is this the right thing? It's like, no, we just have to stay grounded, focus on the inputs and everything. So what would you kind of say to someone stuck in that same spot there, that you kind of were at?
Yeah, man, definitely. First and foremost, you're gonna need to invest in yourself because you do not know everything. But if I'm speaking directly to somebody that's in my shoes or is in the shoes I was a few months ago, you gotta invest in yourself, bro. Like, alhamdulillah, obviously, I joined in with you, bro. Made the investment. It was obviously like a risk, the money that I paid I made it back already, I'm moving the first month anyways.
Yeah.
But it's like, a lot of people they wouldn't be willing to take such a risk, but you got to be willing, man. You have to be willing to take risks, and I told myself that this year is the year in which I do take risks. Again, invested heavily into myself. Within the last 3 years, I've been investing into like knowledge, bro. I think I've invested upwards of like 6 to 10,000 pounds on just mentorships and yeah, mentorships and knowledge. And yeah, man, just invest in yourself, take the risk. Again, even what you're offering, bro, like I feel as though a lot of brothers within our space can benefit from that. Because I know a lot of brothers, everyone's kind of tired of the 9 to 5 thing now, I think, bro. Everyone's starting to realize that there's more to life than the 9 to 5. I mean, if you got like a career as like a doctor or a lawyer, then you work hard for that, bro. But if you're just doing like just the average finance bro type thing or something that you don't even want to do, invest in yourself and take the risk, man. Jump in with Imran as well. Like, you will learn a skill, you will have a team built behind you, and you will grow as a businessman. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I'll tell that person.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, that's the last thing like I just want to wrap up on. Literally just like the people in our space at least. Like it's just something that I think you and I've kind of noticed is that like people are kind of behind on this, right? Other than like a few handful of brothers.
Mm,
Within the Muslim info space, it's like it's so vague. There's probably like a handful of people right now who are doing it right. And so
yeah,
us having that knowledge, like what do you think is like it's just a matter of implementation, but like people don't realize it honestly. I don't know when they will, because obviously, like, if you look at it from like a broader perspective, like, yeah, like everyone has been doing it beforehand. Like, you already know, like the Iman Ghazis and everything. But it's like for us as Muslims, like, it's just that we're now catching up to info, you
yeah,
know?
literally, literally,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, that kind of wraps up everything, bro. Any last words or anything that you want to add or anything, bro?
One thing I'll tell, another thing I'll tell the people is that I'm not gonna lie, like it's kind of now or never. I feel as though as more and more people are kind of catching up to info, because people are starting to lock in now. A lot of people are starting to make a lot of money. There will be a bit more competition, so that means the people that kind of start early or the early adapters, they're the ones that are gonna eat the most, right? Of course,
Yeah.
there's a piece for everyone, right? But if you really want the bigger slice, you're gonna need to kind of act a bit fast and act with a bit more urgency. So if you're watching this and you're on the fence of, whether or not to kind of like make the investment or seek mentorship or start the business, then bro, I think it's definitely time for you to kind of just start and, you know, get started as soon as, bro. Because I feel it was a 2026. I actually saw a few big content creators mention this, that 2026 will kind of be like the last year for it to be kind of easy to jump into like info, to jump into content creation. After that, it'll be too hard, bro. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
now's the time. Now's the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, man,
Yeah, man. So that's what you kind of just say to someone who's on the fence of joining and everything. So
100%.
appreciate your time, bro. A lot of really good insight. I think there's literally no insight like this on YouTube. Like, if I were to be real, like, there's no one in the Muslim info space sitting down and talking about Muslim info, which makes it really cool that it's a one of one. You've established yourself as an authority within your niche. People are already starting to understand like who you are, what you do, and the transformation that you provide, and everything, and the impact that you have on these on their lives. So, pleasure having you, bro. I mean, it's
Nah,
always good
thank you,
talking
bro.
to you. And I look forward to obviously we're probably gonna meet up in the future, bro. I see it happening. Definitely a UK US crossover, maybe an umrah trip. You never know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For sure, man. Make it happen, inshallah.
Inshallah, bro. Inshallah, bro. Jazakallah khair, bro.
Barakallahu feek. Salam alaikum, bro.
Salam.